Today we will discuss about the working environment of LabVIEW. Okay, so LabVIEW has a so it is just a working environment of LabVIEW. But inside this working environment of LabVIEW, we need to know uh, why people use LabVIEW, because the engineer said and the national instruments, according to the national instruments, LabVIEW is a platform for sophisticated measurement, test and automation, test and control system. Okay, and you can use LabVIEW by using your uh, Windows, your Linux, and your okay uh, Macs OS operating system. You can connect a wide variety of hardwares with the LabVIEW. We will see how we can connect our hardware with the LabVIEW. I will show you, and how we can configure our hardware with the LabVIEW. We will discuss. For now, let's see about the LabVIEW extensions. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to close this VI. Don't save. It will be automatic. After that, the LabVIEW working environment will automatically open. Okay, so now today we will today we will create one basic projects. So for that, click on the create project, or you can click from by file also. Click on the file, then you will find the create projects. So click on the create project. So click on the create project. Okay, if you will click on the create project, then you will find this create project window, this create project interfacing platform window platform. Okay, now click on the blank project and click on this blank project, and click finish. Click on the finish. Okay, after that you will find this kind of a product explorer platform will open. This kind of product explorer platform will open. My system is slow. Wait for few seconds. Okay, when you will create a project, then you will find this project explorer window. This is a project explorer window. Okay, go to the file. First go to the file. Okay, click create project. If you will click on the create project, you will get that project file window. After that after that click on the blank project and finish. Then you will get this project explorer window. Okay, so in the project explorer window, now come into the project explorer window and please listen carefully. You can save this file, all project you can save. Okay, the LabVIEW project. So we our LabVIEW project has doesn't save in our haven't saved in our project. Okay, right now it is just a open project. We need to save this project in our hardware. For that, look at here, our project target our computers. Okay, this is our LabVIEW projects, and the extension of our LabVIEW project will be .lvproj, .lvproj. Okay, this project includes my computer, because in this my computer there is dependencies and build specification target platform. So for this project we are targeting my computers. Okay, In this my computer, we will design all those projects one by one. Okay, now I am going to save. Click on the save. If you will click, now I am going to save my projects on my hard, okay, hard disk, my computer. Content, okay, I am creating the file day 5. Okay, day 5. Inside the day file, I am saving this projects. First project, .lv proj. Don't delete this .lv proj. It is an extension. It is an extension of LabVIEW. Okay, so now save it. Now save it. So now my project name is first project.lv proj. Okay, so my project name is first project.lv proj. After that, today I am recording this video, so I will share it with you. Now come into the my computer, right click on the computer, right click on the computer, come into the new and click this vi. Okay, again right come into my computer, right click, come to the new and click the vi. So now here one vi is developed. Okay, in the computer we are creating one vi stands for the virtual instruments. Okay, we are creating this vi. Now save this vi. Again I'm going to press the save button. So now I am going to vi on that day 1 platform. So my IRST first program .vi. Okay, I can save with the first program vi. So this is a vi, extension is vi, vit या vim, vi vit or vim. So I can save this, okay, in the same library. So now my vi program is present here. Okay, dependencies, by using dependencies we can change the name, we can set the set the types, and we can set the path, or we can use it is a customizable or not. By using build specifications, wait, by using build specification, if you will click in the build specification, then you will get the information like installer, apk, okay, and run file also. Right click, now come to new. So we can okay, by using build specification we can create application file .exe file, installer file, apk file, zip file. Okay, so now here, now again come to the computers. Now click okay, and virtual folder, take here a virtual folder, and this one is virtual folder. I can transfer my program into the virtual folder, and I can okay, virtual folder. Okay, and I can rename the virtual folder is my folder, folder. How can I transfer? Just drag it and place here. Just drag and move inside the folder. Just click, drag. Right now it is present in our computers. Right now this file is present in my under the day 5. Okay, the path is day 5. Okay, now this is present under this, okay, my folders. Now right click in my folders, okay, add, okay, or okay, right click in my folder, come into third label and convert into auto populating folders. Okay, so it is my folder folder. So my folder is the auto populating folder for me. So this is auto populating folder right now. The earlier was virtual folders. So meaning of the virtual folder is, if I will create a virtual folder, so that folder only and only exists in the LabVIEW environment, not in my hardware. If I will click any auto populating folder, so that populating folder has been auto populating folder, okay, will be present on that auto populating folder will be present on the hardware, okay, hard disk. Now I can transfer my program inside the auto populating folder, okay. So now here we had learned how to design one project and how to design one VI. In this VI, okay, there is the three parts of VI. This one is the front panel, okay, this one is the front panel, this one is the block diagram, this one is the block diagram. So these are the front panel and this is the block diagram. Front panel is dedicated for user interaction. By you can design front panel using your controls, which is inputs, and using your, okay, output, which is indicators. Okay, you can create your front panel by using the controls and indicators, okay. But in the block diagram you will write a code. In the block diagram you will write a code by using functions, wires, by using functions, wires, nodes, and structures, by using functions, wires, node, and structures. So here I have written one program. The number is equal to 0 or not. Okay. So you can design front panel by using the control and indicator. So control means input and indicator mean output. This front panel is for the user interaction. This front panel is for our output, our behavior, our performance, and by using block diagram we can write a code. But this one is our connector pen, icon and connector pen. Whatever we are looking this icon has been designed by this platform, and this is connector pen. Connector pen mapping the number of pin. Here in this icon there is two pins, one is the input pin, one is the output pin. So we can change this connector pin by right clicking patterns, one input one output, okay. So this will be one input and this will be one output, okay. Watch again, this is icon and this is connector pin. You can change the connector pin according to your this functions. So here we have one input and one output concepts, so we can change by using the one input and one output. We use this connector pen and icons when we work with the VIs, sub VIs. Sub VI is a concept that's where we use VI within a VI. It is just like a program subroutine, like a text base, okay. So let's run my program. So it is going, is my 0 is not equal, is my number is not equal to 0? No, it is equal to 0. That's it's off. Run, it's off. Now it's glowing, okay. So now look at here in the block diagram. This one is terminal, this one is also a terminal, okay, and this one is functions. This one is terminal, this one is terminal, this one is numeric control terminal, Okay, this one is numeric control terminal. This one is okay. This one is Boolean indicator terminal, and this one is the functions. The name of functions is not to 0. This one is okay, not to 0, not to 0. Okay, so the block diagram content, we can control and we can use the block diagram to write our code. We can write our code by using the what terminals, input and output terminals, numeric control terminals, string indicator terminal, functions in, with and the wires. This one is the wire. Okay, this one is wires. Okay, now let's okay go ahead. Now learn how it is look like right now. Right now this is look like a icon. Okay, right now it is look like icon. It is also look like icon. To save the size, to save the area, we can right click and we can click in view as icon, view as icon to minimize our terminals. Okay, to save our programming area. Second, if your program is distributed, unconstructed and big, and you want to configure, you want to minimize your wires and your lines. Okay, so press Ctrl A. By pressing Ctrl A, you can select all, and by pressing Ctrl U, you can minimize the connection and okay of your code. Now, so this one is my terminals, this one is terminals also, this is functions, but this one is free labels. Not equal to 0 is a free label, we call it is a free labels. Okay, it is a free label. But the numeric, if I will change here a, if I will change here a, and if I will change here b, okay, so in the numeric, right click, come to the visible item, it is also a label. Okay, if you will click, you will find the label, so it is also a label. Okay, this one is also a label, but it is not true with the front panel object. These are the object and these are the terminal of object. Think like that. If you had any kind this keyboard on your system, okay, so to connect with your motherboard, you need some terminal on that motherboard. Okay, whatever you are pressing here, your motherboard can communicate with the terminal of your keyboard. Okay, that's why whatever we will do here, our block diagram can communicate with that object with this terminal. Okay, but in the block diagram object, right, when I will right click, I will come into the visible. So here two things. One is a label. Second one is the captions. So here label and caption. If we'll click on the caption, if we'll click on the caption and new numbers, I will give new numbers and old data. So there is no okay old data. So here I was selected for the caption. So I change the caption, but okay, I change the caption. So here no change, because here no caption, here only the label. Here I change the label, so it's changed automatically. If I will change the its label into caption and I will write a, so no change. Okay, let's move on. It is a basic environment, basic environment of our basic knowledge of our LabVIEW environment. Now come here, come into the front panel. If you will click into the front panel, you will find, okay, you will click into the front panel, you will find this modern, NXG style, silver style, system, classic and express. Different kind of different kind of style based controllers. If you will take knob, okay, from the modern, so knob will look like this. If you will take knob from NXG, so knob will look like this. If you will take the knob from this silver, so your knob will look like this. If you will take the knob from, so there is no knob in the system. If you will take the knob from your classic, so knob will look like this, okay, and you can take the knob from the express also. So both are same things, both are the same thing. The performance, okay, the performance, the range, the presentation, everything are same, everything's are same. Okay, so for that, the knob, if you will take the knob from the different kind of style up from front panel, different kinds of style from front panel, so you will find the different look. Is a different it's come with the different version. First come classics, after that they design system, then they design modern, then they design silver. Now the new version is NXG version. So for uh, all those knobs are same in the performance, property and working. Okay, you can use any kind of style according to your convenience. I like mostly right now NXG style, so I use NXG style. Now there is a one strong element in the block diagram that's called context help. Press Ctrl H. If you will press Ctrl H, then context help with open. Okay, by using context help, you can uh, by using context help you can get information about any kind of functions. Okay, there is one functions minimum and maximum. There is one function, there is minimum and maximum, and you want to know how it works, so you can use the context help to get information about that functions. Okay, okay, so let's start to learn something about the numeric function palette. I will upload one video related to the numeric function palette. You will use that video to learn about the numeric function palette. Okay, I am going to teach you representation. Okay, representation. So look at here and what? Right click. Okay, if I want to configure my function, I want to configure my function as a NXG style, For that, I will right click here. I will come down, scroll it, and I will come down. Okay, or I am not able to use right now. Wait. Okay, pinning. First pinning, customize. Okay, right click. Wait. Right click, pinning. Come to the customize. Change the view palettes. Now, okay, I am deselected the modern. I am deselected the silver, classic, express, and all. Okay, and I will press OK. So now when I will click, so my NXG style will appear only. So my energy style will appear only when I will click. Now right click in block diagram, come to the numeric function palette. Okay, fourth column, fifth number, random number generator. Take one random number generator. Take one random number generator. After that, right click this random number generator. Okay, and come to the label. Right click in front panel, come to numeric, take numeric indicators and connect. So what this random number generator do? To know what the random number generator do, press Ctrl H and click the random number generator. Random number generator produce a double precision floating points between 0 to 1. The number generated is greater than 0 but less than 1. Okay, so it generates random number with ununiform distribution. If it is a if the number is what is the meaning of ununiform distribution? You cannot predict the sequence of number, which number will coming up. Okay, so whenever we will try to design one program for lucky draw, at that time we will use, okay, at that time we will use random number generator. So now this is the random number generator. Click run. Every click I will get different number, and number will not exceed, not will go more than 1. The number will come between the 0 and 0.9999999, but not 1. Okay, so here range is 0 to 1. Here range is 0 to 1. What happened and how we can increase the range of this random number generator? I want to generate number from 0 to 10. How can we do? How can we write a code if I want to generate number from 0 to 10? Okay, let's see how can I generate a number from 0 to 10. Right click in block diagram, come to the numeric, come to the multiply, take here, place the multiply, right click, open the free labels, connect with this, and right click again, create a constant, take right 10. Okay, 0 to 10, sorry, 0 to 10. Okay, now this arrangement will generate numbers for us in the range of 0 to 10. The number will not go below the 0 and not will go up to the 10. How can I do if I want to generate any number from 0 to 100? What can I do? Here I can generate number only 0 to 10, but if I want to generate the number 0 to 100, so what can I do? So for that I will click on this plate and I will use 100. Now I can generate number from 0 to yes, Sumit. Okay, now move on. If you will right click in function palette, you will get in right click in block diagram, you will get function palette. The first column, second number is numeric. In the numeric, in the last column, there is one conversion. This is the most important thing, conversion. We will learn this conversion right now. Before that, here some manipulations are present. Okay, complex numbers, some math constant, fixed points, okay, are present. You have to work with, okay, you can check all those data manipulation, scaling, fixed points, okay, according to when you will get the time. We will work on the complex right now. Okay, so pin in, come to the complex, take the complex, this one, real, imaginary to complex. I have taken this one, right click, label, real, imaginary to complex. Now coming to the front panel, take numeric, this one is A, this one is B. So I want to write A iota, A plus iota B, or you can say it is a real and it is imaginary. It is imaginary. Okay. So upper one is for the real and lower one is for the imaginary. Now right click, create indicator. Right click, create indicator. If I will run 1 plus 0 iota, 1 plus iota 1, now let's see. Okay, if you want to design the conjugation part, so here the complex conjugation is present, click here. Okay, now in this arrangement I have, okay, I right clicked and created one indicator, but now I am thinking how can I take indicator from front panel. So I come into numeric and after that I take numeric indicator. Now if I will connect this numeric indicator with this, okay, so here you can see one red dot is present. Okay, look at here. Here you can see DBL. Here you can see the DBL is mentioned. Okay, DBL is mentioned. Here you can see the DBL is mentioned. No, so for that view as icon. Now you can see DBL. Now you can see CDB. Now you can see here DBL. Okay, look at this function. If I will click connect with this, so it will be changed into the, okay, it is DBL and this red dot. This red dot means it's a corrosion dot. Okay, and I will not get the complex conjugation. I will not get that complex conjugation value. Okay, I was expecting output will 1 minus 1 iota. Okay, so why and what is the difference? Okay, now we can see indicators. Sorry, this one is also CBD. Now we can get the 1 minus iota. It is a different kind of representations. So what is the representations? These are the different, these are the difference. So what is the representation? Okay, so what is the representation? What it will give? Double 64-bit real, double complex, okay, 15-bit precision. So now we will learn what is the representation. Okay, so first right click, take one numeric, sorry, right click and block diagram, come to the numeric and there is one numeric constant, blue color, numeric constant or is orange color. Okay, right click, create indicator. right click, create indicator. There are two indicators, okay, and two constant. One indicator is orange and one indicator is okay, one indicator is orange and one is blue. Now right click, view as icon. One is DBL and one is I32. So blue one is I32 and the orange one is DBL. So what is a DBL and what is a I32? So numbers are okay. There are some okay. So there are complete numbers, rational numbers, fractional numbers. Okay. After that, integers. Integers means the number without any decimal points. You know very well what is the meaning of integers. So integers means the numbers okay, without decimal points. That's called integers. Okay, so now integers have two types: signed bit integers and unsigned bit integers. Some integers who start from 0 to infinite, and some start from the minus infinite to plus infinite. Integers means the number without decimal, and DBL is called floating point. DBL it's called floating point. Okay, control H. Control H. Let's see. This one is the DBL and this one is the integer. This is 32-bit integer and this is 64-bit double precision integer. This is 64. Okay. So now let's see how can we. Okay. Wait. Okay. Again. Copy. Look at here. Now this is a numeric integer I32-bit. Right click in this right click in this numeric indicators. Come to the representation. Right click. Come to the representation, second last class, second number, properties and second last class. Now you will get the representation. So now our selected representation is 32-bit. Now I am going to select this 8-bit. Okay. So again the red dot is present here. Okay. Now I will click in the third number and U8. Again this red dot is present here. This red dot called corrosion dot. Okay. Corrosion dot. This red dot called corrosion dot. After that, now, okay. So what happen if I will write 127 run? So both will show the 127. But if I will write 128 here and 128 here, so and run. So this one. This I8 so minus 28 and this is showing only 128. What happened if I will write 129, so it will be show minus 1 and 129. Run. So this is showing minus 127. I means unsigned bit integer, signed bit integer, and U means unsigned bit integers. So okay, this is the I8. I8 is equal to I8, it means, so I8 it means 2 to the power 8. Okay, 2 to the power 8, but in this I8 2 to the power 8, so number will be minus 127 to minus 128 to plus 127. These are okay, minus okay. So range is 2. What is the value of this? It is 256. So total number is 0 to 255. So for this one, okay, for this one, this is not 0 to 255. This is minus 128 to plus 120 plus 127. For this one, it is 0 to 128. If I will write, okay, if I will write here 255, So it will be generate 255. If I will write 256, so now it will be 0. Okay, because this number permits only 0 to 255 value, and this number permits 0 to, sorry, this one. So by using this kind of representation, we can save our memory of our program. If you want to write a bit file, so you will not okay, if you want to write a bit file, so you will not want my file will go to the 5 MB, 10 MB, 20 MB. Every time everybody wants to design a small size file, because the small size files are so lighter and quick when you want to deploy on the microprocessor. Okay, so now, so this one is one. Okay, so uh, this is the I8. I8 means 0 to, I8 means 0 to 125, sorry, 0 to 255, right? No, I8 means minus 128 to plus 127, and it is 0 to 255. So okay, so we have another concept, more logic. Why? Let's see. We have some I16, okay, I8. This is I8, I16, I32. Inside the 132, there are 4 I8. Okay, if you want to write only 0 to 100 number, and if you want to store only 0 to 100 number, then you no need to go with this DBL, because it takes more data. No need to go to on this I32. You can work with only I8, because using this 8-bit channel, using this 8-bit memory, you can store your number from 0 to 100. Okay, so these are the representations. But this corrosion dot, by using this corrosion dot, you can lost your data, you can lost your bit. To reduce that corrosion dot bit, we use the representations, different kind of the representations, and that representations are, right click, come into the numeric, this is the conversion. Okay, so this conversion, we use this conversion. What I want to convert, into I16. So this is I16. I will take this one, this is I16. So we called this is to word integer. Okay, now connect. It will convert this I32 bit into the I16. Okay, so for okay, this kind of arrangement, this kind of conversion, we use this conversion platform. Now I am using I8, okay, to convert this number into this. Okay, so thank you. This is a representation. Now in the lab view, uh, we will design, we will work with some signals. Okay, we will work with some signals, and we will try to check how we can work with that signal. So now, I think yesterday all of you had designed your function generator. So let's come on that concepts. Take one knob, which is for amplitude. Okay, take another knob for the frequency. You will learn so many things right now. Right click, come here and take one waveform graph. right click, come into the signal processing waveform generator. Okay, now I am using sine waveform generators.